What's up, folks, and welcome to Whistler Village. We are just getting started here at the beginning of Crankworx. We've got a couple of videos out, a couple of even pro bike checks. So today, I want to mix it up. I'm going to go find the other end of the spectrum, the clapped out and the classic bikes of Whistler. It's tipping down rain, as you can see, so hopefully we're going to get some diehards. Paul, we were just out cruising the pits. We saw this classic of a giant ATX downhill bike. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that, but I'm gonna hit you with some easy questions first.
Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite bike film of all time?
Cranked, any Cranked, yeah.
Classic, of course. If you kids at home don't know what Cranked is, do your homework. Who's your favorite bike rider of all time?
It's a hard one, probably like Nicholas Villios, because he won everything.
Yeah.
Style-wise, probably Sean Palmer. Yeah.
He's still got style.
Yeah.
Style from Alex.
Yeah.
What's your favorite event at Crankworx to either participate in or just watch?
I think A-Line's exciting, but Joyride is the one that everyone wants to see.
It's true.
It's got big jumps, it's got big flair, and it's pretty cool.
Sick. Sweet. Well, let's go into the bike a little bit. This is from 1999. We've actually got the new age replica behind it, but this thing's a classic. Like, tell us just a little bit about it.
It kind of was like the brainchild of people who were into riding downhill, and they wanted more travel, more control. So like big shock on the rear, lots of linkage, giving it lots of travel. And then obviously the RockShox Boxer, that era was pretty big. And then it was also the introduction of through axles and hydraulic disc brakes. So that was kind of the forefront of technology back then. Mm-hmm. So people wanted bigger and burlier bikes that actually got them down the mountain without braking. So the big riser bars, the big high stack on the front. And this particular bike was used to win world championships with Miles Rockwell. So that's kind of the era of where this bike came from.
That is so cool. So much history with this one frame, and then to have you guys like release the new thing.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. I mean, does this bike actually ever get ridden nowadays?
No, I would say no. It's more of a showpiece in our office.
Yes.
So it sits in the office and gathers dust most of the time. But it's great to have it here at the event to show how technology has evolved in the last 25 years.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and like, I mean, there are still people rocking around Whistler Bikepark with some pretty old classic bikes.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they're the ones that just stand the test of time.
Exactly.
So like, what on this bike is not original?
I think most of it is pretty original. We tried to keep it to spec. Stuff like the SRAM Woody derailleur, like that was a cool thing back in the early 2000s. Like race face cranks back in the day, massive chain devices. Most of the stuff is very up to date or era correct. So we try to keep it in that form. Michelin tires are pretty cool as well for the era, and now we're seeing those tires coming back out. But yeah, it is how it came off the racetrack.
I love it. So this exact bike is from '99. How many bike park laps do you think it's done in its lifetime?
Oh, it's got to be in the thousands. Like probably a couple of thousand over those couple of years that it was in use.
We're out here looking for classic or clapped out bikes. Like, what is it that makes this one an absolute classic, standing the test of time?
I think it's got to be the Woody derailleur, has to be the cool part of it. Other than that, then obviously the RockShox Boxer was ahead of its time at that era. That's about it, really. Big chainring on the front. We don't ride big chainrings anymore.
That is actually true. How many teeth are on that darn
Probably
thing?
46.
44.
44?
Sheesh.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Jared Graves could handle that power.
No.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. I know
No
you guys are super busy here, and I hope you have a great rest of the Crankworx.
Okay, thank you.
We're here with my boy, Sammy G. I got a couple of tough questions to start us out. First of all, what's your favorite bike film of all time?
Oh, for old time's sake, Seasons. For the classics, newer stuff. Return to Earth, watching that here was pretty epic.
That's pretty epic. We love big Earth vibe. Who's your favorite biker of all time?
Oh, that's a hard one. One of the, again, old school legends, someone like Steve Feet. Yeah.
He's a pretty popular guy,
especially being British,
fellow Englishman.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite event at Crankworx? Either participate or watch?
It's normally, I think, Joyride just for the atmosphere, huge crowd. And then second would be Whip Off. Yeah.
Whip-offs. All right, Sammy, tell us a little bit about this super rad Trek Fuel. How did you come about to be the owner?
My friend was chucking it out and it needed some work, so I thought it was a really good price for a commuter bike, just in case I forgot my lock and stuff. It's perfect for going home after a few beers. So yeah, that's how that came about, and I kind of Frankensteined it together from another decommissioned bike I had. It's got some few nice parts, few not so nice parts, yeah.
We're out here looking at the clapped out and the classic bikes of Whistler. Would you say that this is clapped or classic?
What about
both?
a clapped classic? Yeah, it's got a bit of play in the back, but it's a classic, so yeah, both.
Classic dual suspension bike, nonetheless.
She rips.
What do you think on this bike is like truly original classic? Why, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
This shock is a bit of a classic. We got no adjustment. I don't know what they did back in the day. You put your air pressure in and you got no dials.
What even is that? You reckon that's like 80 millimeters travel?
That's generous. I wish I had that much.
You got any updates planned for it?
I think faster tire on the back. It's too grippy. So yeah, something like this slick front one. Normally you'd have it the other way around. You'd have grip on the front. I got party up front, business out back.
You just like do those front wheel drifts.
Oh yeah, front wheel
It's all about
shrouds.
So how often does this thing get to go off-road?
Quite rarely, unless it's a valley trail side hit. So yeah, not super often. And coming out my drive is pretty squarely.
Well, I was gonna challenge you to ride down these stairs here, but it is pissing rain.
I don't mind.
And we've got the slick on the front, and he doesn't mind.
I don't mind.
Here we go.
We got a puddle after too.
Here, Alfie joining us, and this bike caught my eye for obvious reasons. Before we get too deep on the bike, who's your favorite rider aside from your kids?
Amelia Hansen.
Hopefully we'll see him this weekend throwing down on that slopestyle course.
For sure.
That would be pretty rad. Have you ever taken this bike into the bike park?
Not into the bike park, but it's been down Severed Dick, if I can say that.
Yes, you can. That's on the North Shore. That's a spicy.
Dustbin, Far Side and Squamish with the saddlebags on it.
I mean, this bike is crazy custom. You've had it since its birth, basically.
Yeah.
But what on here is totally unique to like either you or the bike or your favorite thing?
Upgraded it and put a motor on it. And
I did see that. Is this your like Whistler commuter bike now?
It is.
It's living a new life.
It is.
That's impressive.
It's got the old halogen light, and I put in an LED in behind it. And
So Alfie, what on this bike should you have probably replaced at least a couple years ago?
the chain.
There's not a speck of rust on that chain though. You must keep it pretty decent.
You know, with the extra power of the motor and I don't know.
Little extra torque.
A little extra torque here and there.
And I guess last question for now, why do you love this bike? Why won't you upgrade?
I worked all summer long in '85 to buy it. It cost me $1,800 back in the day. And had custom wheels, custom paint job, you know, the seat, it's awesome. Yeah, it's just part of me.
If it ain't broke, why fix it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. I mean, we could go on for days about this thing, but it's a classic. It's not clapped out. We'll let you get out there and enjoy it and also see the kids out on track.
Yeah.
Walking around the Whistler Village, we just found Mitch and his classic Rocky Mountain Flatline here, but we're gonna start off with some easy questions.
All right.
Who is your favorite rider of all time?
Oh, I like watching Loic Bruni ride. He's a smooth guy.
Can't agree with that one. And what's your favorite event at Crankworx?
It's got to be Joyride. It's gotta be.
Fair enough. What about your favorite bike film?
Oh, I don't know. I like the old stuff with Brett Tippie.
Any given cranked?
Yeah, they're all good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sick. Well, tell us a little bit of the bike, how this bike came into your hands, because it's not like the newest bike around.
No, it was bought off Pinkbike, kind of beginning of the pandemic. Put a big cassette on it because we like to climb local stuff in the Fraser Valley. It's got a new guide brake on the front, and
just one though, just one.
Yeah, just one. But yeah, it's got it from my brother. I think it was a birthday present. It was just sitting in the shed, and I broke my enduro bike, so I wanted to come ride and found some downhill 26-inch tires that are probably about as old as me, and they're hooking up.
What do you think probably should have been replaced ages ago?
That's a good question. It's honestly pretty dialed. Like, I got a new bottom bracket in there. The tires needed to go, but I did that. Fork could use a service, but I feel like every fork from this time needs a service. Maybe a direct mount stem, but it's pretty dialed, so.
You know what? Still rocking the 31.8. Got like what, 50 millimeter stem on there. We're laughing.
I think they're the Foo 40s.
Yeah.
So.
High. It's high enough.
It's good enough.
Do you think you got any like upgrades in mind, or are you just gonna like run what you brung?
I don't know. I've got a really nice enduro bike. I'm just waiting on a part for, but I might buy another guide brake.
Just to match it out a little bit.
Yeah, I have a 888 in my garage that would be really sweet on this. So.
How many laps in its lifetime do you reckon this bike has had in the bike park?
Oh, it's got to be hundreds. The guys we bought it from, they just bought it, I think, to go to Big White. They had a place out there, and they just go every summer, and it's like, it's a park edition bike, so it's where it spent most of its life.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mitch.
Yeah.
The rain just started, so probably about time for you to get back out there.
Well, it's power hour, so got to go do that first.
Thanks, boss. We got Tom here. We literally just pulled him out of the workshop because his bike in the rack caught my eye. But before we talk about that, we've got some easy rapid fire questions for you.
Okay, cool.
First one being, what's your favorite bike film?
Oh, I quite like Seasons. Yeah.
We heard Seasons again today. I like Seasons too. Who's your favorite bike rider?
Big Kyle Straight fan. Like, yeah, a lot of respect for him. I reckon he's, done some very cool stuff.
So what have you got here? You got this GT Hardtail.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
This is my GT. Got it at the start of the summer off a friend for a few beers, and it's, she had it sitting under the deck of her house. So everything on there, apart from the frame, is all new. So it's been pretty heavily stripped down, and just a lot of my buddies here got pretty into it. So we started to find some cool bits and pieces, like all the Saint stuff and the roach pads and Pro Taper bars. So yeah, it sort of became a real communal project.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Bike mechanic, little passion project, if you will. What do you think on this bike that's left that maybe still needs a bit of an upgrade?
Honestly, I don't think there's too much. I don't know. I think, it's not really a lot out that I've seen that I'd actually want to replace, because I still want it to be a little bit rougher and a little bit pub bikey.
Like, what about this bike makes it a classic that just stands the test of time?
I think for me, it was like, I was a big fan of the steel frame. I think that's like a really good go-to.
So tell us a little bit about why you love this bike, why you put your passion into it and actually spent money on it.
Yeah, so this, for me, just started as like, I wanted something to get like to and from like work or the pub or something like that. But yeah, like I said before, everyone sort of helped me out so much with it. Like, I feel like I've had like 4 or 5 friends that have all helped out in one way or another. So yeah, it just started as something that was going to be, don't worry about locking it up and that sort of thing. But now I'm actually flying it back home to New Zealand with me at the end of the season. So it's going to be around for a very, very long time, I think. Yeah.
So good. It's just going to live its endless summer life.
Exactly.
And that's why it's in such good condition. There's barely any rust on this frame. It's there, but there's not a lot of it.
Yeah.
Sick. So much. Thank you.
No, that's
Tom.
awesome. Thank
Hope
you.
You have a good rest of the day.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers for watching today and getting to see some of the classic bikes here around Whistler. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have bring you at least 20 more, but it's raining, so there's not a ton of people out. Hopefully that'll change as the week goes on. Check back in. We've got more videos to come.